How often have you complained this week about not having enough time in the day? More importantly, how's being time poor impacting on your resilience? We need time for most work activities, and time's finite. There's only so many hours in the day. Each time we learn a new process, adapt to change, manage more complex requests, or spend time deleting spam emails, there's a time cost that's rarely counted or acknowledged. Increasing demands on our time have made it a precious resource that has changed how we behave. We speed up our activities, cut back on less urgent tasks, and our health often becomes one of the trade-offs. A National Australia Bank survey found that not having enough time was seen as the most common obstacle to well-being. In fact, they found that the average Australian would pay $68 for an extra hour of time in a day. At the same time, the Australian Bureau of Statistics reports that 1 in 4 women and 1 in 3 men feel they're always or often pressed for time. I have no doubt that these results could be replicated internationally. An article I read by Dr. Lyndall Stradsons and her colleagues in the Australian Psych Society journal Insight suggested that statistics like this should prompt us to rethink time as an emerging determinant of mental health and well-being, similar to social factors such as income, housing, education, and employment. If we take this social determinant approach, it means we need to address the sources at a population rather than an individual level. So, what does it look like if we start to take a whole of workforce approach and think of time as a resource we need for our well-being? Of course, process efficiencies are always popular, as are flexible working hours that help us manage time pressures at home. Most of us have also attended the obligatory Time Management 101 course and used technology to better manage and organise ourselves. All of these relate to time. If we build on the social determinant approach, however, we could also be looking at organisational practices that sometimes become embedded in culture and aren't questioned. A colleague shared recently how she was calculating the wage costs of 3-hour regular meetings that were not that productive. Her intention was to challenge their content and frequency. Another was introducing daily huddles to collectively reassess work priorities, rather than people coming in and focusing on their personal to-do lists. Others are looking at ways to manage shared time wasters like emails. Many clients, especially in the not-for-profit sector, are taking this to an organisational level and regrouping around their core work and letting all other activity go. The bottom line is that removing busy work that doesn't add value is not just about productivity. It's also about our well-being and resilience. Further reinforcing this, we've found in our research that optimising resources is a key factor in building resilient teams. And of course, time is a critical resource for all our teams. So, what would it look like if your organisation thought about time as a resource that we need for our well-being, rather than something we should better manage either individually or through automation? How can you start this conversation in your workplace?